What's going on, Power Stroke family? We're going to compare two tunes today, AMPD versus proven tunes. All right. A lot of questions coming from one tune, go to another tune. A lot of people maybe on proven switching over to AMPD. Maybe they're just brand new buying tunes and they're confused between proven and AMPD. There's also ASAP tuning. I'm not really too familiar with those guys, but I heard they're pretty good too. So I'm just going to kind of break down the differences from what I've seen on my application. 11 to 14 trucks, 15 and up style trucks, maybe a little bit different in the tune applications, but overall I feel like the platform and what you're getting is pretty much the same. So we'll start with proven tunes. Proven tunes, I've had proven tunes. I still have proven tunes, but proven tunes is a solid tuner. They give your truck, what you need to get started. But I'll give you an example for as far as like my year truck. I got a 2012 truck. Okay, their stock tuning applications were really solid for me when I needed to tune my truck. Once I started making changes to the truck, when I added turbo, fuel pump, stuff like that, the options or what they were willing to do gravely decreased. Okay, in my opinion, proven kind of took a nosedive in the industry when they stopped being innovative, when they stopped keeping up with the new things coming to the market. So they have pretty generic aftermarket turbo files. For instance, proven to offer you is an A turbo file. Okay, it's their aftermarket turbo file for VGT and non-VGT turbos, but it's a very baseline generic turbo file that'll get you running and get you working with your aftermarket turbo, but it doesn't optimize the tuning for that whatever specific turbo you're kind of going after. Okay, and there's a lot of variants now with 9 blades, 10 blades, things like that need specific tuning for that turbo for you to get the best possible result from your turbo. Okay, even fuel pumps. Okay, so Proven's going to offer you a file for either your stock turbo or your stock fuel pump, or they're going to offer you a file for a stroker pump. Okay, those are the two options that you have with Proven right out the gate. That's what they're going to offer. Okay. Now moving over to AMPD. AMPD has been more innovative. Okay, they've done some more research. They've gotten with some more distributors, some more companies. They've created tunes that fit a larger quantity of people. Okay, so coming from Proven, moving to AMPD, I'm running a Titan turbo. If you guys have watched my videos before, I'm running a Titan turbo, 64, 67 millimeter turbo. Okay, I was running the A turbo file with Proven. Now, when I got my Titan turbo, they didn't have. It wasn't a stipulation from Titan. It is a stipulation from Titan now, but when I got my turbo, was before they kind of collaborated with AMPD. But I know now with Titan, in order to maintain their warranty, you got to have AMPD tuning. Okay, which makes sense. They collaborated. AMPD, did their whatever they need to do to get the tuning and fine tune that turbo to work properly. But AMPD offers, turbo files for Titan and for Platinum turbos. Okay, as well as a KC turbo. Proven also offers files for KC turbo. Now, as far as fuel pumps go, they offer, for instance, like my truck, they're going to offer a file for like a 15 and up CP4 or the CPX 10% over. They offer a file for your DCR pump, and they offer a file for your stroker pump applications. So pretty much from nuts to bolts, they cover the whole spectrum for fuel pumps. Okay. And as far as their turbo files go, they do kind of have the main turbos in play that are being used now, right? So you have your Titan turbo, you have your Platinum turbo, you have your KC turbo. Those are the three big names right now that are being utilized in the industry as far as upgrades on your VGT side of the turbos. Now they still do have like the non-VGT options and things like that. Their files, kind of beyond that, their files are real clean. I noticed personally a big difference from switching from the A turbo file from Proven, moving over to the Titan turbo file for AMPD. From Proven, what I noticed was kind of like an on-off with my turbo, which tells me that their vane positioning was way off. So from a stop moving forward with Proven, the truck felt kind of laggy. And I really think nothing of it realistically, because when I switched over to them with that turbo, or when I had used that file when I put that turbo in, that's all I kind of knew. Now, when you hit it, like, if you really, dug in it, I mean, the truck opens up, creates a lot of power. Okay. But just in the normal application of driving, just start and go, truck just felt laggy. I noticed a huge difference moving the AMPD, where now you could tell that those vanes are opening properly during acceleration and boost, that the truck actually feels peppy even on just normal acceleration. And the same wide open throttle, truck moves just like it did over with Proven. I'm running a 10% over. Pump CPX. Proven was having me run their stroker file. They said, run the stroker file. It'll just max out the pump. Blah blah blah. Now, I'm not a tuner. Can't really speak to that. More I thought about it, though, I'm like, well, I would imagine it's tuned in for a stroker pump, which, it's demanding that the pump puts out X. It's not receiving X. That just can't be right for the truck. So with moving over to AMPD, they have a tune-specific file for that, which works out well. So now I know that my pump is being utilized the way it's supposed to be being utilized. The truck feels great. The acceleration is great. All said and done. So my comparison of the two is, I'm going to lean towards AMPD. They're being more innovative. They got better files, especially if you're running like a Titan or a Platinum turbo, and also knowing if you're coming from Proven. Now, if you're stock tuned, like you're running stock turbo, you're running stock fuel pumps, or if you're running like a KC turbo and you're running a stroker pump, there may be no real reason to switch from Proven to AMPD, and that's the reality. Okay, because I feel like Proven did do its research and did put its time in with like KC turbos. I think it's also done its thing with the stroker pumps. Okay, so I feel like that the tune itself is solid, but if you're looking for something more customizable to your truck that Proven doesn't offer, AMPD does offer that, and those are the files that they're offering. So they're going to offer KC turbo files, they're going to offer some Platinum files, they're going to offer Titan files, and they're going to cover you on a, for instance, like if you're 11 to 14 truck, a 15 and up pump file, or 10% up, 10% over pump file, a DCR file, and a stroker file. Okay, Proven doesn't do that. So if you're looking for more customizable, even on your fuel pump side of things, AMPD has that stuff covered. Okay, but like I said, if you're running a KC turbo with a stroker pump on Proven, at that point, I don't really see what the reason would be to change, because I think Proven itself is a decent tuner. I just think they're just not as innovative, and they're not keeping up with the market as much. I've heard that Proven, even their non-VGT files, so their A turbo for non-VGT seems to be sufficient. Or I've heard good things that people have said that, hey, they haven't had any issues. I can't speak to that. I've never ran non-VGT turbo on my 6.7, so I really can't dive into that, or opposed to what AMPD is running on their side of things. But as far as the VGT stuff, I can talk to. But yeah, that's kind of my spiel or my breakdown of the two. If you guys have any questions about turbo files, or like what AMPD has, or anything like that, feel free to drop it where you know to drop it. Leave it in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.